You know what hurts the most? It's not rejection. It's not even heartbreak. It's the silent reality of giving someone your time, your attention, your energy, only to realize they would never do the same for you. You're always the one reaching out, always the one starting the conversation, always the one keeping the connection alive. And you begin to wonder, if I stop texting, would she even notice? Would she even care? Let's get real today. If she never texts you first, you need to stop lying to yourself. You need to stop building excuses in your mind like, oh, maybe she's busy or she's just not good at texting. No, people make time for what they value. People prioritize who they care about. And if you are not seeing that effort, it's because she has chosen not to give it to you. The first thing you must understand is this: value yourself first. Your worth is not measured by how many messages you send or how available you are. Your worth is not defined by someone else's silence. When she never initiates, it doesn't mean you're not good enough. It means she's not investing. And that's your wake-up call. Second, you must stop chasing endlessly. The more you chase, the less she values your presence. Effort is like currency. If you're the only one spending, eventually you'll go broke emotionally. Stop being predictable. Stop being the one who always keeps the flame alive. Because real connections don't require you to beg for attention. Third, it's time to create space. Sometimes silence is the loudest test of all. Step back. Don't text her for a while. Watch what happens. If she notices your absence, if she reaches out, if she asks where you've been, that's effort. But if she stays silent, that silence gave you your answer without you ever having to ask. Fourth, you must test her investment. Relationships are not built on one-sided energy. When you stop giving so much, you'll see if she truly values you. A woman who genuinely cares will find a way back into your life. A woman who doesn't will simply move on. Either way, you win because now you know the truth. Fifth, it's time to raise your standards. Stop tolerating half love, half effort, and half presence. You deserve someone who chooses you, not someone who keeps you as an option. Raise the bar. Decide that you will only give your energy where it's matched, where it's appreciated, and where it's reciprocated. Sixth, focus on your growth. Instead of waiting on her replies, build yourself. Build your goals, your confidence, your success. When you're busy creating a life of value, people naturally want to be a part of it. And suddenly, you're not the one begging for attention. You're the one others are chasing. Finally, you must be ready to walk away if necessary. I know it's hard. I know you've built stories in your mind, hopes in your heart, maybe even plans for the future. But if she doesn't see your worth now, she never will. Walking away is not losing. It's choosing yourself. So if she never texts you first, do this. Step back, value yourself, and focus on becoming the kind of person who never has to beg for attention. Because the right woman won't make you question your worth. She will make you feel chosen without you ever having to ask. Let me ask you something straight from the heart. How many times have you caught yourself waiting by the phone, hoping for a message that never comes? How many times have you stared at your screen, refreshing, convincing yourself that maybe she's just busy, maybe she forgot, maybe she'll text later? But the hours pass, the days pass, and the silence becomes louder than any words she could have typed. And yet, despite all of this, you still find yourself reaching out, being the one to initiate, being the one to prove your worth, as if her attention is some prize you have to win. This is where everything goes wrong. Because the moment you start believing that someone else's actions or lack of them decide your value, you've already lost the battle within yourself. Value doesn't come from outside. It doesn't come from whether she texts you first or not. It doesn't come from how she reacts to you. Value begins with how you see yourself, how you treat yourself, and how much self-respect you're willing to protect. When you value yourself first, you stop seeing silence as rejection and start seeing it as information. You stop asking, why doesn't she text me? And you start asking, why am I giving my energy where it's not appreciated? That small shift in mindset changes everything, because now instead of begging for scraps of attention, you are protecting your energy like it's the most expensive currency in the world. And guess what? It is. Think about it. Every message you send, every thought you invest, every moment you spend waiting is energy. If you constantly pour it into someone who doesn't value it, you drain yourself dry. And what do you have left? A broken sense of self-worth, endless questions, and a desperate need for validation. But when you start valuing yourself first, you turn that energy inward. You feed your confidence, your goals, your growth, and suddenly you don't need someone else's attention to feel alive. You create your own spark. Valuing yourself first means setting a standard. It means saying, I will not keep giving effort where it's not matched. I will not chase someone who runs from me. I will not lower myself just to keep someone else comfortable. And yes, it's going to hurt at first, because walking away from something you wanted is painful. But what's more painful is betraying yourself every single day by accepting less than you deserve. You see, when you value yourself, people notice. They see it in the way you carry yourself, the way you walk, the way you speak. You stop looking desperate and you start looking powerful. You stop looking like someone begging for attention and you start looking like someone who doesn't need it. And let me tell you something. Nothing is more attractive than self-respect. Here's the truth you've been avoiding. If she never texts you first, it's not because you're not good enough. It's because she doesn't prioritize you. And instead of lowering yourself to win her attention, raise your standards so high that anyone who wants a place in your life has to rise up to meet them. That's what valuing yourself looks like. You have to remember this. The most dangerous thing you can do is put your worth in someone else's hands, because the moment they drop it, you're shattered. But when your worth is built inside you, when you decide that you are enough, that you are worthy, that you are valuable without anyone's validation, then no one can take that away from you. Not her silence, not her rejection, not her absence. Nothing. So if she never texts you first, don't see it as a reflection of your weakness. See it as a reflection of her priorities. And then ask yourself, do I really want to invest my energy in someone who can't even give me a fraction of what I give them? Or do I value myself enough to walk away, knowing that the right person will never make me question my worth? Because the truth is this, when you finally learn to value yourself first, you'll never have to beg for love again. You'll attract it effortlessly from the right people, in the right way, at the right time. Let's face the truth most people avoid. The harder you chase, the faster they run. The more you push, the more they pull back. And yet, so many of you keep convincing yourselves that if you just try harder, if you send one more text, if you prove one more time how much you care, eventually she'll wake up and see your worth. But let me tell you, endless chasing doesn't prove your value, it destroys it. When you chase endlessly, you send a message without even realizing it. The message is, my time doesn't matter, my energy doesn't matter, my self-respect doesn't matter. As long as you give me crumbs of your attention, I'll keep running after you. Do you see how dangerous that is? You are teaching her and the world exactly how to treat you. And if you show them that you will tolerate being last on their list, they will never put you first. Chasing endlessly is emotional slavery. You become addicted to the cycle, waiting, hoping, reaching out, getting a short reply, and then repeating the process. It's like running on a treadmill. No matter how fast you go, you end up in the exact same place, tired, drained, and still unfulfilled. But why do you do it? Because deep down, you believe that if you stop chasing, everything will fall apart. You fear that if you stop texting, if you stop initiating, if you stop keeping the connection alive, she will disappear forever. And you're right, maybe she will. But let me ask you, if the only way to keep her in your life is by exhausting yourself, is she really worth keeping? Real connection doesn't require you to beg. Real interest doesn't need constant proving. If she cares, she will meet you halfway. If she values you, she will show it. If she truly wants you in her life, she won't let you carry the entire weight of the relationship. That's the test. And by chasing endlessly, you're preventing yourself from ever seeing her true intentions. You see, when you stop chasing, something powerful happens. One of two things will be revealed. Either she notices your absence, she feels the space, and she steps forward because she actually cares, or she doesn't. And you finally see that her silence was the truth all along. Both outcomes are a win for you. Stop thinking that more effort will fix what's broken. Love isn't a math equation where if you add enough texts, enough calls, enough attention, the results will suddenly balance. No. Relationships thrive on reciprocity. Without it, you're just throwing your energy into a black hole, hoping to get light back. But a black hole never gives, it only takes. And the longer you chase, the more you lose yourself. You lose your focus, your confidence, your dignity. You forget that you have a life outside of her responses. You forget that you are more than just someone waiting for validation. And that's when you fall into the most dangerous trap of all, believing that your worth depends on how fast you can run after someone who doesn't even look back. Here's the shift you need to make. Stop chasing endlessly and start attracting effortlessly. Attraction doesn't happen when you're desperate. It happens when you're grounded. It happens when you pull back your energy, when you stop giving it away freely, when you choose to invest in yourself instead. Suddenly, you're not begging for attention. You're commanding it. Do you know what's more powerful than 1,000 texts? Your silence, your absence, your decision to step back and let her show you what she truly wants. If she values you, she'll notice. If she doesn't, she won't. Either way, you gain clarity. And clarity is far more valuable than empty promises or one-sided effort. So stop chasing endlessly. Stop running in circles, hoping the outcome will change. You're not here to be someone's second choice, their convenience, their safety net. You're here to be valued, respected, and chosen. And if that requires you to stop running and finally stand still, then so be it. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is nothing at all. Not another text, not another call, not another effort to keep the connection alive, just space, silence, distance. And yet, so many of you fear this idea. You convince yourself that if you stop showing up, she will forget you. If you stop chasing, she will replace you. If you stop talking, the entire relationship will fall apart. But here's the truth. If your presence is only noticed when you force it, then maybe your absence is exactly what needs to be tested. Space reveals truth. Think about it. When you keep filling the air with your effort, with your messages, with your availability, she never has the chance to show you what she's really willing to give. But when you step back, when you stop filling the silence, you create a gap. And in that gap, the truth comes out. If she values you, she will feel the space. She will notice your absence. She will miss your presence. She will reach out. But if she doesn't, then your silence exposes what you were too afraid to admit. She was never invested in the first place. And that truth might hurt, but it will set you free. Creating space is not about playing games. It's about clarity. It's not about manipulation. It's about respect, both for yourself and for the relationship. Because here's what happens when you never create space. You smother. You suffocate the connection by constantly giving more than necessary. And instead of drawing her closer, you push her further away. Have you noticed how people often desire what isn't always available? It's human psychology. When something is always there, always accessible, always guaranteed, we take it for granted. But the moment it's gone, the moment it's no longer easy to reach, suddenly we realize its value. That's why space is powerful. It gives her the chance to realize whether you truly matter to her or not. But here's where most men go wrong. They confuse creating space with disappearing completely. That's not what I'm saying. Creating space doesn't mean cutting her off cold, blocking her, or storming out. No, it means pulling back just enough to see if she steps forward. It means giving her the opportunity to invest, to contribute, to meet you halfway. And let me warn you, this isn't easy. It takes strength to resist the urge to check your phone every hour. It takes discipline to stop yourself from sending another message when you don't hear back. It takes courage to sit in the discomfort of silence. But that discomfort is the test, because if you can't create space, you'll always live in fear of losing someone who isn't afraid of losing you. Creating space is also about self-prioritization. Instead of pouring all your energy into her, pour it into yourself. Fill that gap with your growth, your goals, your passion. Show yourself that your life doesn't revolve around whether she texts you or not. And when she sees that you're not begging, not chasing, not desperate, that's when respect is born. Respect doesn't come from constant availability. It comes from boundaries. And space is a boundary. It says, I'm not going to fight for attention that should be freely given. I'm not going to exhaust myself proving my worth. I'm going to step back, and if you care, you'll show it. And remember this, if you create space and she never comes forward, you didn't lose anything. You simply revealed what was already there, her lack of effort. It was never your job to force her to care. It was only your job to recognize the truth and choose yourself. So don't be afraid of space. Don't fear silence. Don't panic when you stop texting and she doesn't notice. See it as clarity. See it as freedom. See it as the universe protecting you from wasting more of your time. We've walked through a lot today. We've exposed some uncomfortable truths. We've pulled back the curtain on patterns that many of you have been stuck in for years, chasing endlessly, lowering your standards, mistaking silence for love, and betraying yourself just to hold on to someone who was never really holding on to you. And now it all comes down to one final decision. What are you going to do with this truth? You see, life has a way of testing you, not with thunder, not with lightning, not with dramatic explosions. Most of the time, life tests you with silence, with absence, with unanswered texts, with lack of effort. And it whispers to you, are you going to keep giving your soul to someone who doesn't value it? Or are you finally going to value yourself enough to walk away? Because that's what all of this comes down to, self-respect. The foundation of every healthy relationship is not how much you love the other person, but how much you respect yourself. Without self-respect, love becomes obsession. Without self-respect, effort becomes desperation. Without self-respect, relationships become prisons. Think about it. The reason you chase endlessly is because you think you need to prove something. The reason you never create space is because you're terrified of losing her. The reason you refuse to test her investment is because deep down you're afraid of what you might find. And all of it stems from the same root problem. You don't believe that you are enough without her. But let me tell you, you are enough. Not because she says it, not because she validates it, not because she texts you first. You are enough because you are complete within yourself. And the moment you truly embrace that, you stop begging, you stop chasing, you stop lowering yourself for scraps. You begin to demand the kind of love that reflects the value you already see in yourself. So, what happens when you start living by these truths? You stop chasing endlessly, and suddenly you're no longer exhausted. You create space, and suddenly you can see clearly who cares and who doesn't. You test her investment, and suddenly you stop wasting your life on someone who never planned to give back. You raise your standards, and suddenly only the right people make it into your circle. You focus on your growth, and suddenly you attract more than just attention. You attract respect. And if necessary, you walk away. And suddenly you realize that losing someone who never valued you is not a loss at all. It's freedom. I know it's hard. I know it feels like walking away means giving up. But ask yourself, what are you really giving up? Are you giving up love, or are you giving up the illusion of love? Are you losing a person, or are you losing the constant anxiety of wondering if they ever cared? Are you walking away from happiness, or are you walking away from the pain of never being chosen fully? The truth is, you don't lose when you let go of someone who was never invested in you. You gain clarity, you gain strength, you gain dignity, you gain space for the right person, the one who will never make you question where you stand. So here's the choice in front of you. Keep chasing what drains you, or step back and create space for what's meant for you. Keep lowering your standards, or raise them so high that only genuine love can reach you. Keep waiting on someone who doesn't care, or walk away with your head held high, knowing that your worth does not depend on whether or not she texts you first. Because at the end of the day, this is not about her, it's about you. It's about who you become when you stop begging for attention and start demanding respect. It's about the life you build when you stop wasting your energy on those who don't value it. It's about the power you unlock when you finally decide that you will never again be defined by someone else's silence. So the next time you're staring at your phone, waiting for a message that never comes, remember this: the silence is your answer. The absence is the truth. And the question is not, why isn't she texting me first? The real question is, why are you still waiting?